Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. The news came out today, guys. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics have been postponed. This show will never be postponed. We'll be here, rain, shine, or coronavirus. That's what we do here on Brainstorm Brewery 8 years in.
I like how we promise to be here if the sun is shining. It's like, we're not going to postpone for shine.
Well, we're Magic players. We're certainly not going to go outside in the sun. Yeah, the Olympics are dead.
Time to replace them with eSport Olympics.
The E-Olympics are better than the Olympics.
They're trying to get esports added to the Olympics.
That's dumb. As an esport proponent, no. Keep us away from the jobs.
Jason's having flashbacks.
I think it's all the same these days. I think it's the same these days, man.
Flashbacks to what? Like, when I was a jock?
I was a jock. I bridged the gap.
Bridging the gap is when you, on the swim team, pull someone's Speedo all the way up to their nipples. That's called bridging the gap because you slice right into their taint. True story. Is that what you meant by bridge the gap, Corbin?
No, Jason, it wasn't.
Oh, I forgot you weren't on the swim team.
No, I played real sports.
I've seen a video of you swimming. It was mostly just you chickening out.
Well, everybody, welcome into the show. Like all of you, I would assume, we are shut down at home. We are coronavirus, social distancing, taking precautions, doing all those things you should do. My play group has moved entirely online. Stores are closing. Wizards announced today, being Monday, the 23rd, that all in-store events, including the Ikoria pre-release, which was scheduled for April 17th, which, by the way, kind of snuck up on me. That's not that far. That's not even a month away, but it's canceled.
Everything is canceled.
We don't know when it'll happen. Everything is canceled through May 10th in-store. So, support your local store however you can.
Buy gift cards maybe. I don't know.
Gift cards, yeah, buying from their TCG player store. Maybe figure out what you want to buy, and even if you can't go play, if they're still allowed to ship you things or something like that. I don't know. Try to figure something out. Look, the reality of this is it sucks for everybody. It sucks for every business, and it sucks for every household, and it sucks for the entire world. I know we have a lot of listeners who aren't in the United States, so our Italian listeners are probably like, we've dealt with this already. Where were you guys a month ago when we needed you? But hey, we're dealing with it here in the United States, so you get to hear our takes on it. I mean, how are you guys, Jason, you've been at home recovering from surgery. How are you guys handling your social distancing?
My wife is social distancing by going to Target every day.
Oh, great.
I'm just kidding. She, my wife works in public health, as you may know, and she's kind of like, Michigan is exactly 3 days behind Ohio. And Ohio said shelter in place 3 days ago, which means tomorrow, Monday morning, the governor is going to say, hey, we should be sheltering in place, only leave to assist other people and buy vital provisions, which is exactly what happened. So having my wife know that kind of stuff meant that we could stock up over the weekend. So she knows what's coming. She gets to see exactly how many people have been tested and, how many positive tests there have been. So she, gets to track the trends. She's, for her hospital, I guess, been tasked with kind of making the online mobile command center so everyone can work remote, which is great, which means the better job she does at that, the longer she can stay home and not have to go in, I guess. So
yeah, that's great.
I do writing, working in public podcasting. Health. I haven't had to leave the house, so I'm good, but
in years,
I haven't had
5 years since Jason needed to leave the house.
I've wanted to, but I haven't needed to.
It's pulling teeth to get you out to events, man.
Yeah, I have 2 kids, Corbin. And I don't put them in daycare. So.
Yeah.
That is how I sound.
No one gets daycare anymore. I'm at home. Marianne was off last week. They just closed. She works at a like a VOTEC school, so state run, so that they're shut down. She's working from home this week, and I am at home with a 3-year-old by myself all week. But the good news is that last weekend, in non-corona world, right, in a timeline it isn't the darkest timeline over the past 4 years, I would be on the road right now for events. They were supposed to be on a month-long trip to work a bunch of events. They've all been canceled. I'm out all kinds of money. It sucks. There's really no way around it. So I'm at home with Ben. But the good news is we had rented 4 or 5 months ago, before any of this was a thing, a cabin in the woods in
nothing bad
BFE,
ever happens there.
In BFE, Oklahoma. We had rented a secluded cabin in the woods. No one has ever gotten an infectious disease while at a cabin in the woods.
Whatever that is.
What? Buttfuck Egypt.
I think Jason has.
You never heard Buttfuck Egypt?
No.
Oh, you Gen Zers, you're the worst. Going on spring break and kissing your grandmothers.
I'm a millennial, good sir.
barely got in there. So we went to our cabin in the woods, and funny story, it was packed. They were not shut down. If I had to guess, the demographic of that part of Oklahoma was not people who probably took the concerns of the government very seriously, so they did not listen to anybody. We did a good job social distancing. If we ever got within 15 feet of anyone else, my wife she'd just like start having a panic attack. We picked up food from one to-go restaurant. We found the one restaurant that was not dine-in. They had converted to go only. And we were
that was your plan for the cabin, was to just find a restaurant? Nice work.
Well, the one night, when we were getting in, we found the one that was doing to go only. We're like, these are the people making smart decisions. We want to support them. So we got food from there, and then we just hung out at the cabin, did some hiking. Ben loved to play in the hot tub. I realized that I got some work to do before I go on Survivor. I
took your shirt off?
I couldn't start a fire.
Did you catch any fish?
Oh.
Of course we didn't catch fish. We broke the fishing line.
The one fishing line?
Yikes.
No, Step one for survivors.
Ben saw people
one fishing line.
Practical Preppers has rated your doomsday preparation. Water. You didn't bring any with you. 0 out of 20 points. Food. You bought to-go food one time, but you couldn't catch a fish. 5 out of 20 points. Having a 3-year-old who's better at things than you gives you 15 X Factor points. You have a total of 1 week estimated survival time.
I mean, look, yeah, DJ, you don't get to take fishing line with you on Survivor. You have to win it. But Ben decided he wanted to go fishing. We've never gone fishing with him. When I've been fishing plenty of times in my life, but it's been a long time. When we go fishing as adults, we set jug lines with people, which for those who don't know, it's basically you set up a bunch of lines that just have a buoy attached to them, and you set up 10 of them, and then you set them out, put goldfish on hooks going down 50 feet. Then you come back in the evening and you get all the fish you've caught, right? Takes no work. You don't have to be there. You don't have to really know anything. It's great. That's what we do. But Ben wanted to go fishing, so we got him a little, tiny kid fishing pole and tried. And all that happened is
pink?
That we caught.
I feel like I saw it was pink.
It had, I think it was like green and pink. It had some pink on it because it was like a Disney fairies. There was like a Disney. I think it had Tinkerbell on it. It was like a Disney fairies something like.
Is what you're saying?
No, it was the only children's fishing pole they had at the fly shop. So this is the river down there is like a fly fishing kind of river where you're supposed to wade out 10 feet and do all that. But look, we just wanted to stand on the shore or on the bridge and put a fishing pole in Ben's hand and let him feel like he was fishing, right? But we caught an old shell, and then later we cast our line. It got caught on something, and then it broke, and that was the end of fishing. So it was we weren't great at being outdoors. I also then I failed to start the fire. So Marianne brought like 3 starter logs, like little tiny starter logs to get it going. And she just tries to start this thing while I'm not like around it. I was like not immediately there. I was like doing something else. She goes to it had just poured rain for the previous 3 days. So the fire pit was very wet and she didn't clear anything out. And I'm not trying to throw her under the bus here because it's not like she's an expert fire maker either. But needless to say, the starter logs did not start a fire. There was no kindling or anything. I come over. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. And so then I spent an hour and 3 of those automatic lighters, like the long ones, 3 of those I went through, running out of juice on all of them, trying to get a fire going. Just off of, like grabbing twigs and wood and bark around me, all of which was a little damp, right? But at times I could get the leaves to catch. I could get some of the twigs to catch. I even like at some point, I got a lot of smoke and I had flames, but I couldn't never get the fire going, right? Like I'd have fire for 30 seconds on a smaller set of stuff, and I just couldn't ever get a nice base going and build it up. I feel like conceptually I understand how to make a fire, but I failed. And I just sat there that night. We're hanging out in the hot tub, Ben's playing, I got a beer, and I'm like, Marianne, we're dead. Like, this is the zombie apocalypse happening right now.
You don't want to make a fire during the zombie apocalypse. The zombies will see the smoke.
We can't fish. We can't make a fire. Like, I cut myself just walking. I like tripped and cut open my toe. Like,
is it the same toe that you smashed while like riding a scooter?
It was not.
Were you wearing the same flip-flops?
No, I had shoes on it, as a matter of fact.
How do you cut your toe wearing shoes?
I slipped on a hill and like my shoe got all messed up and dirty, and then later I looked and I had like cut it. Like not like terrible, but like it wasn't great. It was just all very, I'm not gonna say embarrassing because I know I'm not an outdoors like person or survival expert. I've never drank my own pee or anything like that. Yeah. So
I don't think that's part of it, man. I got all the way to Eagle Scout and I never had to drink my pee more than 3 or 4 times.
I was also a Boy Scout.
So anyways, I just died. I just realized that we're dead, right? Like if I was not born into the years, the time period on Earth and in the spot on Earth in which I was born with the skills that come to me naturally, Corbin, I would just have no shit.
None of that comes to people naturally, though.
Like, but some people just don't. Some people just don't run into light
Corbin's
poles,
getting mauled by a bear. You can't maul me. I'm an esports professor. Ah!
I think that maybe I was born like 20.
An ad hominem attack on my scalp, making me the victor. Oh, you're gonna bite my torso now? Way to move the goalposts.
20 years earlier. Back when people cared about writing as a medium, I would have been a star. But 100 years before that, I would have been useless. You know? They didn't have computers. I don't know. I just know that when the zombie apocalypse comes around, I'm dead. I don't even have guns. Like, I'm just dead. I don't have guns to shoot people for their toilet paper. That's the whole thing. I don't know what the gun is supposed to get. Basically, to me, if you say, I'm prepared for the apocalypse because I have a gun, what you are saying is, I'm going to kill people for their supplies.
Food. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's what you're saying, right? Yeah. Like, that doesn't...
It's the whole, you only have to run faster than the guy next to you thing. Like, it's...
Yeah.
You just have to...
You don't have to outrun a bear. I just have to outrun my 3-year-old.
You just have to... I guess you just have to be willing to murder your neighbors for their toilet paper.
Are you not?
Which, to be fair,
dude, I'm considering that now when I have toilet paper left.
Yeah, a lot of people, it seems, are doing that. So I guess so. Yeah. Anyways, coronavirus just revealed some things about myself. 1, I've got some work to do if I want to get on Survivor. And 2, if the zombie apocalypse comes around, I hope I find a group that needs a smart guy because that's all I got going for me.
Why would you be that guy?
Why wouldn't I be?
I guess, yeah, you're kind of like the Eugene character on Walking Dead, I guess.
I never watched that show.
Well, it's a compliment.
I could tell him my ACT score. Do you think that would impress anybody in the zombie apocalypse?
I'm picturing you like casting an anthill, like color casting an ant, like the movement of an anthill or like a hornet's nest.
I do play-by-play, sir.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure your zombie apocalypse group would like that distinction. They'd appreciate you being all high horsey with that.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I can. Say this now. I probably should have announced it a while back, honestly. But the Hunter Burton Memorial Open, which was going to be held this coming weekend in Dallas. For those who don't know, Hunter Burton top-aided Pro Tour Austin a decade or so ago, lost to Brian Kibler in the top 8. He committed suicide. They created a few years later, he had committed suicide, and his parents, working with the TO in Texas, created this giant tournament, just massive prize pools. It's grown every year for the past 5 or 6 years. I've written about it for Wizards several times, including the story of Hunter Burton, if you want to look that up. But this was the first year I was finally going to be able to make it. It was like the first year that the tournament did not fall on a GP I was working, and I was going to be doing commentary at it. And now that's not happening due to Corona. So if that comes back around to everybody, you should definitely check it out. And hopefully I'll be there. I mean, the plan, of course, is to still have it, but we'll see how all of that ends up actually going with coronavirus. So we'll see. The new dates for the tournament are August 8th and 9th. Hopefully I'll be there doing commentary like I was supposed to be, but it's a great tournament. It's a great cause. And hopefully I'll get to go, but if not, you should check it out in August. Assuming by August we can all go outside again. Oklahoma schools probably not opening back up before the end of the year. We found out.
Are you going to get 4 days or 5 days back when they open up?
That was a deep cut, DJ. I like that. That was a throwback there for those who might not remember to when we were discussing the teacher walkouts in Oklahoma last year, I think it was, or maybe the year before. A whole bunch of schools had gone to 4-day weeks instead of 5 because they couldn't afford to stay open 5 days because Oklahoma got them. But at least no one here has killed themselves trying to recover from coronavirus, as happened in Arizona today.
Hey, Corbin, you don't get to pretend Oklahoma is better than any other state the week that everybody's watching a documentary about Joe Exotic, all right? Like, you don't get to get on your high horse if your high horse is riding a tiger with a mullet and a machine gun.
I have to say, if nobody...
Hey, everybody! Oklahoma's not the messed up state in the union. One guy in Arizona died one time.
I don't know, man.
For those who don't know, first of all, I will apologize in advance. Look, the reality, folks, is that there's not a lot of magic going on. We can tell you to support your local store. We can tell you...
don't apologize
we're going to
for
talk
the topic
about,
of our podcast.
Magic Fest Online. I'm just saying there's only so much magic to talk about in a time like this. We have Breaking Books. We have Pick of the Week, but there's not a lot of new information driving anything. And now with the Korea pre-release getting hosed too, it's like, look, we're in a holding pattern here. So turn on Netflix and watch the Joe Exotic documentary.
It's called The Tiger King. It's amazing. Now, if you had a bunch of money set aside to play the pre-release and you don't know what to do with it, you could go to teespring.com/store/brainstorm-brewery-store. That's a lot of slashes and dashes. Jesus.
Look, man, blame it on Teespring.
I know, right? Blame it on Teespring is the name of this podcast. We cranked our stuff down to, like, on Teespring there's like a sliders, you can make $5 profit per shirt. We cranked it down so we basically make no profit on the shirts.
$14 for a t-shirt.
Yeah, $14 for a high quality cotton blend t-shirt. $20 for a hoodie.
$20 for a hoodie.
It's very cheap, and I recommend them. I'm washing all mine right now because that was like all I wore when I was recovering from surgery and didn't want to move.
I wear my hoodie all the time. It's actually a very nice hoodie.
Now's the time to get some BSB gear. Like we're not going to make any money on it. This isn't we're losing all our...
I don't actually know if they're flammable or not, for Corbin's sake.
Yeah. Well, nothing's flammable when Corbin's around, apparently.
Well, that's what Marianne and I said. I just looked at her like 45 minutes in.
The only thing dry was his wife's underwear.
How was I supposed to know that flammable and inflammable meant the same thing?
No. 45 minutes in, I just look up at her, and at that point, I'm like, I'm all dirty. I've got ashes all over my hands. I'm just covered in crap from just bending, like just chilling with this fire, trying to make it work. And I was like, Marianne, people burn down entire forests on accident.
You did that.
Some people. I mean, I don't know who, but I've heard stories.
I was just like, how does anyone start a fire on accident? I sat there for an hour. I couldn't start a freaking fire.
You know what?
You
could take credit for the fire Billy Joel started. Because he's been denying
he's not claiming responsibility for it.
He's been denying boomers started that fire. They absolutely did.
That was a pretty boomer reference, but I actually got that one.
I guess, maybe. I don't know.
I actually got that one. Anyway, so check out the Teespring. You can also check out the Patreon at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery. There's a lot of great stuff there. We've even been making some extra content during this time of Corona. So we would appreciate your support there if possible. And, look, we understand that it's a difficult time for everybody. I mean, they're forecasting that we could have unemployment here in the United States higher than the height of the Great Depression for April. So, look, no hard feelings if you have to cut back your support or, not have any at all.
Don't give them ideas.
If you're getting a $2,000 check from the government, we expect a piece of it.
Don't give them. Let them forget Corbin. Their minds are full of worries and anxieties about all their different bills. They were gonna let the Patreon just slide. It was gonna slide under. They were gonna forget about it.
Oh, I see.
And now you reminded them by it's okay if you cancel. They're like, oh, I gotta cancel Patreon. And all the other Patreons that they were subscribing, like. Watch a cute Japanese girl eat noodles. That was $10 a month gone.
I think you can be honest with people. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think you should be honest with people. Our government isn't.
Woo!
Democrats hate America is trending on Twitter. No one's being honest right now.
They sure do, man. They sure. If America is corporations with 500 or more employees, you are correct. Yeah, we're not going to get into any of that.
Democrats hate Steve Mnuchin, maybe.
I hope to get a check in the mail from the government.
Trump books.
I hope you all get a check from the government. I hope we get it.
It would sincerely, not on just I want money. I'm out 5 figures of income from this. I will take all the coronavirus related support we can get because I actually, am one of the affected people. So at first it was the Magic events got canceled and it was okay, that sucks for me. But then as coronavirus got worse, the situation got better for me. Because my events were still canceled, but now it's so bad for everybody that the government's going to send us a check.
I just think it's funny that the more BS your job is, the safer it is. Because I'm sort of I write about card games on the internet. And everyone's like, yeah, you're fine. You still get a check every day. And some people are like, oh, well, I work in a restaurant. It's well, people are going to cough in your face every 15 minutes or you're going to get laid off forever. Good luck.
Yep.
You're basically non-essential hospital staff and you have to worry about your job, or you just work 7 12-hour days for the next 6 months. But hey man,
let's move on.
Some of us with non-essential jobs, we're just gonna coast right through this apocalypse. I don't even need that $2,000 from the government. Someone else can have it. Whee!
Same.
I'll take it, buddy. Happily, DJ and I are just sitting over
DJ's
here.
Hey man, I'm losing all this income. How about those cards in your basement? Can I have those? I can sort them and list them. I'm like, nah, I was going to get around to that at some point. And then I'm like, oh, I found 11 Spore Frogs. Those are still $8, right? Nope, they're 11 cents. And DJ's like, just let me list the stuff. No.
You showed him.
Get your own
counter.
Get your own. If I'd given them the cards last week, they would have been listed before Modern Horizons. Question mark. Enough stuff went up that the stuff that went down doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got there. All right, let's move on to Breaking Bulk.
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
Before we get started talking about any cards tonight, I want to shout out our sponsor, Channel Fireball, and remind everybody that this is a tough time for online retailers as well. This affects everybody. It affects content creators that you like to support and watch and read on those websites. And one of the best ways that you can do that is to participate in this awesome buy list giveaway that Channel Fireball is doing. Send them a buy list order, $25 or more. You get entries into a bunch of free stuff they're giving away. There's a big bonus tacked on top of the trade-in values, which are already solid. You can win a Black Lotus. You can win a playset of Underground Siege. You can win boxes of Ikoria, cases of Ikoria. There's a lot of stuff they're giving away. And all you have to do is make money by sending them your cards. So check out the buy list on Channel Fireball. All right, breaking bulk. Who wants to go first?
Time Spiral rare that has been reprinted a couple of times.
Oh, the rares again.
Time.
Buddy.
You know what? If you can guess it, then it doesn't count. But
well,
no, it's only been printed once. It's only been reprinted once.
What color
It is
is
a
it?
land.
Vesuva?
The land from
It is a
Time
land
Spiral.
from Time Spiral that is rare that has been reprinted once. That is 8 trillion hints.
Vesuva.
No.
That's
People have to also think
Is it
that it's
Academy
black,
Ruins?
that it's
Why would
bulk.
this be bulk? A bulk?
No.
rare land?
This is the thing: is we have to, like, DJ's doing this crap. We have to figure out what card it could be that is also Academy Ruins.
I said Academy Ruins, and that's not it.
This is stupid.
Is it a
Stupid.
token?
It's
dude?
not a token.
Is this somehow a token? It's a bulk
Swarm
rare
Yard.
land. No, Swarm Yard's like $20.
The fact that you
Well,
can't
that's
get
how
this
DJ plays this
shows that
game.
I'm right.
That's how DJ
Is
plays
it
this
the-
game, man. Hold up. Let me think about this stupid. It's been
Yes.
reprinted once. In
Commander
what set?
2013.
That doesn't help.
Suck it.
It doesn't help Corbin. Which one was Commander 2013? Was that the monocolors?
No, that was Prosh. It's in the Prosh deck. I'll help you out the more.
The land that makes a go token?
Springjack Shepherd? No, but close.
Springjack Pasture. That was in and it's
It's Springback Pasture is not in Time Spiral.
yeah, that was a Lorwyn block card.
Yes.
I don't
the
know,
Graft
man.
Land.
How
Land
about
of War
Care
Reborn.
Keep?
No,
Care
that
Keep.
was Future Sight.
Okay.
Oh shit, Care Keep. Yeah, you make
Yeah,
a
this card was
Cobalt.
actually a bulk rare like 3 or 4
I
years
play
ago.
that in my Prosh deck. That's kind of
This
embarrassing.
card was a bulk rare 3 or 4 years ago, and it has slowly crept up to over $2.
Well, you know what else was bulk? Those Cobalt of Care Keep tokens, and I bought a bunch of them so I could be like pimp using those as like when I played a Prosh. I was like, oh, I got real Cobalts of Care Keep, and now those are actual money. I did it. MTG
Care
Finance.
Keep is actually. I'll give you this. I mean, I don't know about thinking of it.
It was a bulk
but
rare, like,
you're right.
2
The
years
card was bulk. No. Well, in 2015, it was a bulk rare. It's been 90 cents for 4 years, but sure.
This is a card.
Well, we didn't get it, did we, asshole? You guessed
agree.
Academy Ruins and Swarm Yard, so like it's not like we thought 90 cents was too much to ever possibly consider.
I don't know how DJ plays this game anymore.
My
man.
opener
He's just
was
obliterated the
Vesuva, for
rules.
God's sake, man. There are a lot of rare lands in that set. I almost guessed Calciform Pools because I was like, is that crappy land a charge land cycle? Are those rare?
No, but they are worth a little bit of
They
money.
are worth
right?
a little bit of money because
Yeah.
you can put charge count.
All right, I'll give you Care Keep, man. Care Keep's actually a sweet
That was
card.
a
It's
good-
one of my
that's
first
a
ever
good
modern
It is a
cards.
legendary land that
Yeah.
farts out a 0/1 for a couple mana, and it is there's very low.
It farts out specifically a card that has expensive tokens.
Yes.
Yep. All right, I've got one for you guys here. I don't think this will be incredibly hard, but it's a War of the Spark white uncommon that I believe came in a Planeswalker deck.
Gideon's something. Sure.
It's Gideon's
Like,
company, yeah. Yeah,
Gideon's
yeah, I understand.
a
But
pick.
for those who don't know, this card's it is an uncommon, but it's I believe it is in the Gideon theme deck or whatever Planeswalker deck, right? But you might still find them in bulk. A lot of people buy those, especially the kind of people you end up buying collections from. A lot of times will have bought Planeswalker decks at some point when they were getting into it. But it's a 3/3 for 4. Whenever you gain life, put 2 counters on it, and then 4 mana you can put a loyalty counter on target Gideon Planeswalker. The card's $250 though. Like the card's worth real money. And I don't know if it just life gain is kind of like a tier 2 deck in tier 3 deck in standard. Black white life gain. It's a soldier. I don't know. It's probably a combo piece, I would assume. And it can pump your Gideon Planeswalkers. So yeah, card's worth $250. Jason, what do you got?
I got a card that I thought maybe one of us had picked recently, but they haven't. This is a gold
Okay.
M19 creature.
M19
You heard me.
rarity.
Uncommon.
Trying to remember M19. That's not the Chandra set. That was M20. M19 was the flip set. with
Not
bolas.
elementals.
Right. So it's not Risen Reef or anything. M19 where we had bolus and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, dog.
A gold creature.
Satyr Enchantress. Or Satyr something.
Nope. No. You're embarrassing yourself.
Not the-
Stop.
Is this supposed to be easy?
Yeah. It's like
Core sets are so hard,
it's like
man.
60 cents.
Yeah, it's just so hard to remember all the core sets and the which uncommon cycle
It's
went to which one.
Golgari.
Oh, Death Tip Archer?
Poison Tip Archer.
Poison Tip Archer. Yeah.
So for whatever reason, if you go to EDH Rec, the number one deck of the week
Corvold again?
is Marin of Clan Neltoth. Not Corvold.
Just a favorite. It's just an old reliable standby.
Whatever
man.
reason, maybe Woe Strider, Erebos, Gravebreaker Lamia, Acolyte of Affliction, and Pelucranos have gotten people to dust that deck off and update their list.
Sure.
Because that's 5 solid new. You 100%
That's true.
jam Woe Strider in the deck. Maybe Erebos.
Yep.
Definitely
Yep,
Gravebreaker.
for sure.
Like, Acolyte of Affliction's a messed up card, man. So, like, you're probably updating your deck list, and that has enough people are doing that to push Marin to the top. So I took a look through what's in Marin, and Poison Tip Archer is a card that I thought I had done fairly recently. It's on the spreadsheet that you'll have access to if you are a $20 patron at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery. That's $4 or $5 an episode. You get access to the spreadsheet where we update our picks in real time. So on Monday night, when we record the cast, you can check that spreadsheet and see what our picks of the week and our breakings bulk were. I think having access to that information 5 days early is very valuable, but what do I know? All I know is that Poison Tip Archer has not been picked in the year of our Lord 2020, the year when everything caught fire. So, that is my pick. I think it is a good one. And we're
agree.
entering
This
in the
is a good pick.
spreadsheet as we speak.
For those who don't know, I already entered in the spreadsheet for you. You're welcome. But for those who don't know, Poison Tip Archer is a 4-mana Golgari card, 2/3 reach, death touch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses a life. I think each opponent has to be the magic
Yeah,
words
it's
there, right?
it's the Golgari's signpost uncommon for the core set. Basically every
Right.
set nowadays has a 10-card cycle of uncommons that say, hey, this is probably what you should be doing in this set's limited format. For example, the 2020 core set, there's like a blue-white spirit bird. There's just always like a uncommon card that points towards a certain archetype, and that card's power level is usually a little pushed. So, I mean, even as just a general rule, if you're coming across these types of cards or commons and uncommons, it's very rarely a bad decision to just pick out multicolor uncommons that lean towards a certain theme or archetype, just because these are the same archetypes that casual players lean towards when they build decks. Like, oh, this black-green card is very elf-focused. I build my elf deck, and then I need a play set of this uncommon from whatever set. Same with, like, War of the Spark.
And then people act surprised when that deck becomes an archetype in some other format, like Empyrean Eagle's worth money. Yeah, of course Empyrean Eagle's worth money.
Well, it's in the Pioneer Spirits deck. And also, Shaman of the Pack was from this same, back in Magic Origins when they were still doing this. Where they really started in that set. There was like a Hellhound in black-red, and then the big one was Shaman of the Pack in black-green elves. That kind of cycle is, if you've been playing Magic for a little bit or drafted those sets at all, it's actually pretty easy when you're looking through. You'll kind of remember them. Siona, I think, is if I'm getting that name right, from Theros,
lady,
is a good example.
Siona, not Sayona.
Sure.
Sayona.
Yeah, and there's also the blue-green one.
Mayhem Devil's another Mayhem Devil's
like these,
recent one that I picked
right.
a little while ago.
Yep, Mayhem Devil's a great one.
They're generally higher powered uncommons than those types of mana costs would normally allow, just because it's Wizards' way to push newer players and just say, like, hey, this card's powerful. This is the kind of thing you should be doing in this format.
Yeah, I mean, like, low-key, just talk about the design of it for a second. That was, I think, a pretty big breakthrough in Limited for them. Because they do this in every set. It's not just core sets, even if it's a little more obvious in core sets. But something like the red-white Nyx guy enchantment creature that makes a 1/1 and has the heroic ability when you target it. That tells you you're supposed to go wide and use pump spells in your red-white deck. These cards make it so much easier for people to draft. they're multicolored, so they come by late. You see, oh, this is what I'm doing now, and you just kind of do it, and they tell you one card tells you everything you need to know about drafting that archetype in the format. And I think it's just such a giant leap forward in building sets for draft. Sometimes to those of us who've been playing for a very long time, it can be like, oh, I opened this bomb uncommon and now I'm forced into this sort of because they're so good. But I think they're just incredible for new players to try to basically just figure out. They just get it. You know, you get a grok all of it.
They're
based
great
on
for
one
cubes
card.
too.
That's also true. Yeah. Yeah, very much so. All right. So moving on, let's talk on the line Magic Fest. So for those who don't know, Channel Fireball Events, which is probably dealing, you know, they've got a lot on their plate trying to deal with all the event cancellations and a staff that no longer has events to work. And the solution they came up with pretty quickly, I'll add, is Magic Fest Online. They're running, daily qualifiers, which will lead eventually down this path of, tournaments to a PT qualification. They're streaming it all on the Twitch channel. They've got 24 hours of content or something, I think, planned. They've got all kinds of stuff working for this. So, look, paper events are dead right now. Like this, we always talk about what'll kill Paper Magic. I mean, Paper Magic's dead. So yeah, if you're at home sitting around with nothing to do but play Magic Online or Magic Arena, check it out. It's a different way to play Magic. I mean, look, we always joke about Paper Magic being dead, but the reality is right now, and seems like for the next month and a half at a minimum, Paper Magic literally is dead. It's taking a nap.
It is suspended. It's got time counters on it.
It's taking a nap.
That's actually a good
blood.
way to put it. Yeah. It is. Paper Magic has suspend 45 right now. 45 days from now to be able to play Paper Magic. Look, my group, I have a group of about 10 people, and it's 10 guys ranging in age from like 23 to 40-ish, right? Most of them on the younger side. We get together every single Friday and have at least 2 pods of Commander going, sometimes 3, and a lot of times we play more than that. But we've all just social distance. We're doing it. It sucks. We're not getting together to play. We're either building decks on Magic Online or we're just screen sharing and helping each other cube. And hanging out in Discord is not the same as hanging out in person, but it is better than nothing. And that's the kind of stuff we have to do. So look, there's a lot of ways to move your Magic activities online, and Magic Fest Online is one of them. But I would also recommend, get $10 Commander decks on Magic Online. Give money to one of those rental programs from Card Hoarder or Mana Traders or any of these other different places, I think, that do rental programs on Magic Online. Set yourselves for your playgroup a $10 budget, $20 budget, whatever works for you, and have some fun that way. You can still play Magic and you can still hang out with your friends, even if you can't do it in person. Because one of the hard parts about all of this social distancing and everything is that it's not like a snow day where you're home from school and you go hang out with your friends. You go we have some friends, we'd always go get snowed in at their house when it was coming. And now you can't do that stuff. You're just stuck at home. So finding ways to stay connected, I think, is very important for everybody. And Discord has a screen share option. So a lot of ways you can have Magic. And Wizards, for their part, in addition to Channel Fireball, has stepped up. They've given a lot of resources for stores and Discord integrations and events. They're doing, F&M online, and they're taking it seriously. I mean, they canceled an Ikoria pre-release, and that would have gotten a bunch of people out of the house, social distancing or not. So Wizards is taking this seriously. The stores are taking it seriously. Even my group is taking it seriously, of people who are statistically at the lowest risk. So anybody at home who's kind of unsure of whether you should quit playing Magic with your friends in this time, I would recommend finding a way to take it online.
You're statistically at the lowest risk of dying, but you're statistically at the highest risk of being an asymptomatic carrier. Like, most people aren't complete idiots. If they're sick, they're going to stay home. But if they feel fine, they're not. And they're going to run around, spreading it to everyone. And they're like, oh, I feel fine. Yep. But yeah, you're an asymptomatic carrier. That's why this disease is a big deal. There aren't too many asymptomatic carriers of the regular flu virus, but this, man, I don't know. Most people feel fine. And people who are in their 30s think they're exempt, but most of the people hospitalized right now are between 30 and 50 because everyone older than 50 is like, well, I'm staying away from everybody, you know. And people who are 35 are like, well, I'm not 70, I'm invincible. So, I don't know, man. Everybody.
So the point is,
they think
check
you're
out
safe,
Online
but you're
Magic
not
Fest.
safe. You're not safe anywhere. This disease will get in your butt crack, and then you're gonna.
Look, we've talked a lot about it here because
So there you go.
we're at home with nothing to do. Same as everyone. We're locked down from this. Of course, it's on our minds. We're going to talk about it a lot, but we also recognize that we have a platform and want to encourage people to take the right measures. You shouldn't be scared. You shouldn't be freaking out. You shouldn't be hoarding toilet paper.
Or
although
bullets.
if you are going to listen, if you are going to hoard toilet paper, I do have one suggestion. Check out the porta potties around town. They're an untapped gold mine, I tell you.
Also,
Yeah, if you want 0-ply toilet paper.
Untapped gold mine, Jason.
if you're looking,
That's it. There's only so many. Need TP, I guess. Bidets are sold out on Amazon now.
You know what? That's what you get for waiting. Squatty Potty could have sponsored us and had us sell bidets, but they didn't.
Does Squatty Potty sell bidets? I hope they do.
Probably. I don't know, man.
SquattyPotty.com/BSB/bidet.
I saw one that's just like a wand, and you fill this hollow wand with water, and then like it just blasts it in your crack. I was like, that's dumb. And then the more I look at this ad, I'm like, I don't know. You could put warm water in it. My dad's like, you could put warm water in it. If you had a bidet hooked up to plumbing, it would probably be cold water unless you like hooked it up special from like a line that's separate from your toilet. And now I'm like,
everything looks stupid until you run.
Yeah.
Everything looks stupid until you run out of toilet paper, man.
Well, I think what I'm saying is we could make toilet paper obsolete. I think this is the future. This is Demolition Man. Spraying a warm jet of tap water directly into your anus is the 3 seashells. That's all I'm saying.
That's the name of the episode.
There's
That's
no
the name of the
toilet
episode.
paper.
That full sentence.
The three seashells is not a bad title for this episode. That's all I'm saying.
Sure thing, man.
I'm worth it, so I'm not going to just use regular water. I'm going to heat up Evian.
Oh, okay. Okay, baller.
I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying I have spray Evian into my ass money.
Are you guys double ply fancy toilet paper people, or I'm value oriented.
No.
I just go for the
Corbin,
cheap
that's
stuff.
not value.
It is though. It's the lowest per unit cost.
You gotta use 3 times as much. Dude, if you just use a nice 2-ply... If you use a nice 2-ply, you use a sane amount of toilet paper. If you use 1-ply, you're using 3 times as much, and you still have shit on your fingers. You're spending the same amount of money. You're having a worse wiping experience, and you have shit on your fingers. Trust me. Just go.
You might be right in
2-ply.
that I'm no longer in college where I get single ply. Marianne buys roll-less toilet paper with no, cardboard roll in the middle of it.
Why?
Because she got tired of the rolls being left on the
Who was
thing
doing
empty.
that?
I blame Ben.
What?
Well, my daughter takes them off, and then she paints them. And she says, I'm a pirate with a spyglass. And I'm like, you're an idiot. That's not a spyglass. You stupid idiot. That's 0 magnification.
All right, so we've had a lot of after hours this week, and you can't blame us. There's only so much magic to talk about. So if you're interested in hearing all the after hours, go to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery. Sign up at the appropriate tier. You'll get access to the episode early, and you'll also get these after hours that we've been putting out very regularly. And also for those who want even more additional content, we started a little mini series on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brainstorm Brewery, called Dear Brew Crew, where we take a deep dive on someone's questions. So earlier last week, we released a 15-minute episode of that where we took someone's email talking about a large buying opportunity they had from their local game store and the sort of different considerations, including with the coronavirus world we live in, what that does to the deal. So we went deep on that topic. If you're interested in that, make sure to check it out. But right now, let's move into Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Dun 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 dun.
Who wants to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. I guess if I have to.
What do you got?
If I have to pick these crazy, wacky cards that no one else... Who else is going to do that, right?
Is it you?
Thanks, Corbin.
All right,
I have a couple cards. I have 2 cards. The first is Arcanum Wings.
I was going to ask you about that, actually, because you've been on that one for a while, right?
Yes, I have. Arcanum Wings is a Future Sight uncommon. It is a 2 mana. JJ's going to throw it up on the screen. If you're not watching the YouTube video, sucks to be you. That's all the information you get about Arcanum Wings. But
Aura swap.
Mark Rosewater and Gavin Verhey, in light of all the corona, did some little Ikoria spoilery things where they posted on their Tumblrs and or Twitters or whatever some facts about Magic cards in Ikoria. One of was like, there's a nightmare squirrel in the set. One of them was like, there's 97 different types of counters you can put on things. And one
There's a badger wizard.
There's a lot of wacky things in it.
There's an octopus dragon.
But one of those.
I'm just gonna say stuff until you're completely.
One of those
derailed.
little sentences that was spoken was that the highest power and toughness granting aura in Magic history is in this set, and so
what was it before?
Eldrazi Conscription is plus
like,
10 plus 10.
Eldrazi Conscription.
Eldrazi Conscription is plus 10 plus 10. So
no, it's plus 8 plus 8. I thought.
No, it's 8 mana.
Is it plus 10 plus 8?
It costs 8 mana. It is plus 10 plus 10. Trample Annihilator
so this means that this card has some numbers on that are higher than 10, and while I do not expect Arcanum Wings to be a powerhouse in Modern, I don't think it will be any sort of breakout card in Legacy with whatever wacky Ikoria card releases. I do think that both this and Academy Researchers are 2 cards you can look at least for the hype machine, because Magic cards don't have to be good for them to go up in price. You just have to... I know that lemmings don't actually follow each other and kill themselves. I know... I
that's
know
not
the
scientifically
whole thing,
accurate.
But there's still you can still call it the lemming effect, just like you call it the Spanish flu or the
idiom
or the
still
man.
applies.
It's like
or
Florida
whatever,
man.
yeah.
It's like Spanish flu. It's like the lemmings thing. Where people just follow each other off a cliff, and that's what you want to do. You want to sell all your Arcanum Wings at $2.99 to all the lemmings and all your Academy Researchers, which basically does the same thing. It puts an aura into play for free. But whatever wacky 19 mana aura they print in Ikoria, I think that there will be content creators who make wacky decks based around these cards, and that
you're looking at them.
mean, that is your opportunity. You want to own these now. You don't want to be buying these on TCG or Card Kingdom or Channel Fireball or 95 MTG when the card gets previewed. You want to be selling into that hype once the copies start to dry up, and you want to be listing yours for way too high, and you want to be selling them to people who will buy into that massive meta hype. So Academy Researchers and Arcanum Wings are just 2 very similar examples of cards that I really like picking up, which are just cards that don't actually do anything with the current card pool, but cards that need one specific card that hasn't been printed yet. I mean, examples of this previously were Heartless Summoning with Aya Vugan and Eldrazi and Urborg and the Eldrazi's and BFC. It was what?
No,
whatever.
Both, but yeah.
BFC block. There, I'm still right.
You did it.
But yeah, just Restore Balance is another one that I've just been waiting on for forever. And just these are just cards that nobody has ever cared about. But you can just squirrel them away slowly and steadily, and maybe this doesn't spike that card. Maybe this wacky aura doesn't incite hope or fear. It probably will. But
it's going to.
There's such low downside to these kinds of cards that you can just wait till next time.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be my pick of the week, but I did actually intend on asking you about that because I knew you were in on Arcanum Wings, and I thought the same thing when I saw that Rosewater.
Yep.
Preview. Yep, very very solid. Okay, I'll jump in next, and I am interested. I meant to hear what you guys think about this one because I'm going to choose Ilharg the Raised Boar, and I'm going to qualify this just slightly here. The card at one point was $10, and that point was just a couple months ago. The card also was at one point $1.50. Ilharg is the boar god from War of the Spark. It's the red one. 6/6 for 5. Trample. When it attacks you, put a creature card from your hand into play, tapped and attacking. Return to your hand at the beginning of the end step. It's also got the, if it would be put into exile or the graveyard, you can put it into its owner's library, third from the top. So the Ilharg is $5 right now, and it's been slowly climbing from 4s, kind of where it bottomed out. And it's about 5 right now. And it's a mythic. It's from War of the Spark, which got a lot of powerful cards. And this thing puts Eldrazi into play. You don't get the Annihilator trigger or whatever from it, but you can Blightsteel people to death with it. That's for sure. I've done that. It's just generically extraordinarily powerful. 6/6 for 5 mana. That's recursive. It just does so many good things. And at $5 on a card like this, I like it. I mean, it's probably not going to break through it anytime soon in Pioneer or Modern or Standard, I guess, at this point. But it's going to be great in Commander forever. And it is a card that exists and could be a player.
This is one of those cards that, like, I want to get a time machine and go back to 1997. I don't want to tell them to buy Amazon stock or Apple stock. I just want to shove this card into, like, a 40-year-old man's face and say, this card sucks. It's bad. This card is trash.
You know why that's so good, DJ? Is because it doesn't have mechanics they wouldn't understand
exactly,
in 1997 either. Like, it's really, like, if you show somebody Oko or whatever, they just wouldn't even be able to comprehend what they're looking at because they have no frame of reference.
It still makes sense if it was printed in Visions. And
yeah, you just have to explain what Exile is, and then they understand it in the year 1997.
And, like, I just want to shatter
like,
somebody's psyche with this information.
Yeah. You just hand them the card, and you just let them go and say, let me show you a card I've brought back from the future. And they look at it, and this is insane, blah, 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 and you just go. And then this card sucks. All right, Jason, what do you got for pick of the week here?
Well, I'm going to take you guys on a journey to eternity. Now, remember I said Merit is popular this week? Everyone's on this $4 card. I think one of the reasons
Journey to Eternity is great.
People like to speculate on cards is because they like to think there is a low reprint risk. I think there's a very, very low reprint risk on all the flippy cards because I think they're hard to make. They got to make them kind of special.
They're doing them in Ikoria, I believe. But in terms of reprinting them, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So if you want to do it like as a thing, sure. But like when you want to reprint them, it's like, okay, we got to have a special sheet just for these shits, you know. You're not going to do one card and then everything else is regular, right? With a regular back.
Right.
So
yeah, the only time they've reprinted them outside of a standard set where they were just doing it was from the Vault Transform, right?
Yeah. So, and that was like all the sheets or whatever. So,
well, that was different. Yeah. Yeah.
So with Journey to Eternity, I think the reprint risk is fairly low. I think it's a great $4 buy-in. So I think with the low reprint risk coupled with the fact that this is very powerful, it's, you know, sort of like a Pattern of Rebirth type deal. I think this card's pretty strong. And
I love this card.
Yeah, and you know, decks with sack outlets, stuff like Kethis or Azoni or
Carador, baby.
Yeah, Carador, clearly.
You just put it on your Steve.
Yep.
On your Sakura Tribe Elder. Yep. You play this on turn 3, and basically you've won the game.
I mean, you haven't won the game, but like it's
you ramp 3 mana or something. It's insane.
It's a powerful land, and it has a very, very powerful effect for 5 mana. Pelukranos was just printed. This goes in Pelukranos decks. It's over a third of them on EDH Rec already. So yeah, I like this pick a lot. With anytime they print some new graveyard stuff, people are going to dust off their old Marin decks, or you know. So if you have a Marin deck and then you decide to build Pelukranos, or you're tearing Marin apart, maybe, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're just, I need another one of these. So I kind of like stuff that's sort of like every deck that kind of does the same thing a color combination does. You could get bored by the fact that Golgari always does the same stuff, or you could be like, I better buy 5 copies of Journey to Eternity. Because every time I build a Golgari deck, I'm going to need another copy.
Even if you change your commander a lot, you're always going to probably be playing Journey to Eternity in that deck. Yeah. So it's great. Card's great.
So there you go.
All right, everybody. One more reminder, if you're interested in any of those cards we talked about, to check out Channel Fireball, both to purchase cards as well as the buy list. get in on that giveaway this month. We want to thank them, as always, for sponsoring us. We want to say that we hope, once again, all of you are taking the measures to keep yourselves and your loved ones safe, and that you find a way to enjoy Magic in this time. And we're doing our best to put out some content for you all, some extra content on the YouTube channel as well. So we appreciate all the support. It's a trying time for everybody. So thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully next week we have a little bit of Magic to talk about again. I don't know. Imagine all the actual Magic podcasts. What are they doing right now?
Being inferior to us, just like they were before this outbreak.
Good point.
What a question.
Good point. My bad. That was a dumb question. My bad.
Yeah. That
Anything
was
else
such
you
a
guys
dumb
want to?
question. You should be on one of those other podcasts.
All right, everybody. Thank you, as always, for listening. Thank you. We will see you next week.